Well, I can hear the chickens singing again, so it must be time. Whispering Chicken presents. All right, well, this is a bit of a bare bones podcast because I'm on my phone with just my earbuds because I got to run to the store, but it's time for a bit of shush. Not too much of a bit, just a bit. Let me get my notes out. Oh my God, it's storming or thunder bad. Let's see which way I'm going to go. Because if I go to the store, I need to turn the TV volume on for the cats. Don't judge. And I mean, I could say it was, to let people know that, or think we're here, but we all know the real reason. And now, okay. So, this is coming after, right on the heels of, my posting of Fake Fiction, Season 1, Episode 6. And this is where it all is going to begin, I believe. I took a week, last week, I had my doctor's appointment, turned out really well, I already said that. And I was going to post that, and then I kind of got mired down in the doldrums of life, and some things resurfaced briefly, because they are brief now, after a period of time. Something resurfaces, it can be dealt with because you've already dealt with it, you know how. But it was kind of intense, and I was spreading myself thin. I was doing a whole hell of a lot online, and I think I've found a balance now in being able to produce this as well as fun game time. Oh, this is fun too. Oh yeah, I really like it, and I really like what's coming up tonight because I have 2 more. Yes, this is the second of 4 purported podcasts that will be reaching your ears this evening. This, of course, is a bit of shush, and I've got a couple things to go over on that. And I think I'll do that first. No, I'll come back to a bit of shush. Coming up later, it will be the big debut, hopefully, of Clumsy Hippo's morning cereal. And I will be beginning with the first episode of the ongoing soap opera, Days of General Restlessness. Now, I was going to say this on the other podcast, and I totally missed the mark there, but I figured I'd go ahead and squeeze it in here since I was going to bring it up anyway, because I didn't want to talk about this in the trailer, which is going to be coming out first. And it won't be a very long trailer, but it'll be kind of fun because I get to do a little something different. As an introduction to the morning cereal series, unless of course there's something else needs to come up. That should be it. Just the trailer will be like this, and then everything else following will just be simply the reading of the stories. Like an audio book without the, this book was published in blah 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 or whatever. It'll just be straightforward storytelling, which is why I have Fake Fiction, because I was like, how am I going to squeeze both a story and rambling into one podcast. Well, I'm not. That's why I have 3. Yeah, okay. So, within the fake fiction and, God, I'm getting all these damn things mixed up now. Okay. Fake fiction and morning cereal. Shit. Totally lost my thoughts, so let's just move on. Now, I talked about how, I'll try to breeze through this so I can get to the British part, but I talked about how, I've been trying to figure out how to read the stories aloud because, yes, I do know how they are supposed to sound. It's like texting nowadays. The inflections in the voice. Oh my God, that's the word I was looking for in the Fake Fiction podcast. Inflections and inflections. Inflections. It's actually inflections in the voice are impossible to see in a text. How the hell do you think so many misunderstandings happen, and why? Oh God, I'm getting a little bit of shush here. Why in the hell don't you do something about it instead of just letting it continue to happen, It's like, sorry, it's an easy solution. It's called voice. You don't even have to use your damn phone. Skype, it's like, it's also quicker. I mean, besides being quicker, it's just so much easier to misunderstand when you can't hear what tone the person has. Whether it's a sarcastic tone or an accusing tone or whatever. So I'm, I know exactly how my stories should sound. And this kind of goes in with the whole, as if I'm so sure this would happen, but I'm not. But just in case, if anything of my writing ever became really, really, really popular, which it should, not to be boastful there, but there's no way that I could ever sell it to directors, producers, anything like that, actors who want to make it into something. There's no way. Because there's no way they're going to give an unknown person complete, absolute say-so over the end product that pertains to my writing. You know what I mean? I'm like, because I have seen too many movies. Actually, most movies that I see, that I've read the book, are not as good as the book. That's just a given. It's just natural. I believe that if everybody was proficient in their reading skills, which is not an insult, it's just a fact, that a lot of people aren't. Some people are, and some people have more. And that's just the way it is. So, if someone hasn't had the opportunity to, learn as well, or the ability to sometimes, then it may not be as enjoyable experience for them as watching the movie would be. But there would still be no doubt in my mind that the actual content would be better. Well, okay, so that being said, nobody's changing a bit of collaboration possibly, or input from somebody, I should say. Not collaboration, that's a bit much. I would have to really know and trust the person. Just a flight of fancy. Dean Koontz says, hey, I'd like to collaborate with you on something. I'm not going to say no. Because, I would trust him, completely. But anyway, input though, yeah, I could see, input, but there's absolutely no way I'm going to release the ability to alter things, especially if they're fundamental. That's where the input comes in. If just as an example, because I'll probably use Doctor Who as a lot as an example. Again, this is ridiculous, but I think it will make my point. If they called me from England and said, let's just say I wrote and created Doctor Who, and they wrote to me or probably called me because they're also know probably the importance of the actual voice, or emails even, that comes close, that they wanted to change the Doctor from a male to a female. I'd examine it, given the nature of the character and things like that. I can see, because it's not replacing the character, and so it doesn't change the narrative really. Possibly in some ways, like we saw this past season, when not only were some of the companions faced with the past indiscretions of racism in America, but the Doctor found herself facing her own prejudices forced upon her, such as like King James, and so it's like, and then of course who put her in charge? We did. Anyway, that's my example for input as to what I would do. But this is all, like I said, flights of fancy, because I expect none of that to happen. I'm just going to continue along with what I like, what I write, and do with it what I want, because I think a lot of people would think of some of the stuff I'm doing in that plan. Okay, now that's out of the way. God, what took me down that road? It's windy. I'm trying to block the wind. So, so 2 more podcasts this evening, hopefully, fingers crossed, because one will be short, and the other one will be a normal length. Probably about half an hour-ish. I haven't read it aloud, but the first trailer tonight will be the trailer for Morning Serial. It's going to be a little different. I think it's going to be a little fun. Kind of just a little nugget of humor placed right there for you to have at the beginning of Morning Serial, and then continuing on with the stories. Now, last night, though, and this is where the 4th of the day will come in, and that shall be the debut of the internally sorry, I cannot walk and think and talk at the same time. It'll be the internally critically acclaimed new serial drama, Days of General Restlessness. It'll be after the trailer. That first pilot episode will go out. I know it's not morning, but it's morning somewhere in the world. I can guarantee you that. I don't know if it's on the top, bottom, or around the edge. Stupid idiots. And the ball will be rolling, Once I get that ball rolling, I'm powerless to stop it. Not really, of course, but I like to pretend that so that I keep myself going. Okay, now here it is. Okay, the last bit before my bit of shush. I'm going to listen to this. I'm probably not going to be able to hear a word I'm saying. Okay, I should have wrote the muff microphone. Now, when I was going through last night, doing a final kind of edit, which I'm glad I did, because I made some alterations, and some of the alterations deal with reading it aloud. Excuse me. So, I'm sitting here picturing in my head, and I mentioned this in the other podcast, accents and male and female roles and things like that. And I'm like, how do I do it without being cheesy? And how do I do it without just sounding like a bland audiobook reading? And in my head, I began to bring in those inflections. I began to give the attitude. And I thought to myself, oh yeah, I know these characters. I know these words. I know what emphasis needs to be placed where. So it might be pretty easy. I'll, give it a test go, and it might be pretty easy. So I continued on and was reading it. And I got to a point where at the beginning of the sentence, I thought in my head, now get this. And it all fell together. It all came in line, and I knew right then exactly how to read this morning serial, the alternating Wednesday soap opera. The books I'm going to have to still, or stories I'm still going to have to kind of adjust. You'll see what I mean, how they'll have to differ because of the subject matter. But I could definitely mold what I have discovered into working with just the straight fiction stories, not this ridiculous crusade of nonsense I'm writing. Now, here's what now get this, means to me. When I was growing up, my mom watched, and my grandmother watched Guiding Light and Young and the Restless. I think Edge of Night, I'm dating myself, but there was another one too, maybe, As the World Turns. Now, of course, like with most other TV shows, once I hit driving age, I was, I did that during the other podcast. I gotta stop doing that. Once I got to driving age, there's this period of years where I didn't see anything, or a lot of shows happened that I had to go back and watch, thanks to the wonders of the new technology. And let's see, soap operas, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now, and well, let's just say 20 years ago, but it was more. Actually, almost 30 years ago, I met Trudy. Now, I was managing a hair salon that was barely a hair salon, because all you had to be was barely a hair salon, and you could sell the hair care product. And this is back before you could find it in every damn drugstore in town, a Dollar General, wherever. Okay, hold on. I moved my way up to assistant management and then management, and I inherited from the previous manager a nail technician named Trudy. Now, I know Trudy will not fault me for saying this, because I'm not necessarily criticizing her job performance, because I'll be the first to tell you if I'm shit at approaching my job, or slacking off, or whatever. But Trudy kind of liked to make her own schedule. Well, pressure was on me to rein her in, and I already knew she was not the type to rein in, so naturally we became much better as friends. So we quickly hit it off, and her husband was taking care of his mother in Wisconsin, and so she was living alone at the time. Yeah, she had had a roommate before. I could tell. Oh my God, I've got to tell you the story about the cancer car. Remind me. How are you gonna do that? So I would come over after work, or in the evening, or after she got work, something like that, in the evening time. We lived close to each other, and we'd hang out, and she'd go through her mail first while she put on her video cassette that she had taped Days of Our Lives on. Okay. Mom said to send you on in, okay? Happy birthday. And I got in, of course, over time, got into the show. Watched it for years.
Happy birthday!
And then I picked up, I pick up and drop them. There's been Young and the Restless. I watched Passions for a while when it started because there was the main character was Sheridan. That was my name. That is my name. And it was horrible. It was after the death of Princess Diana not long, and she was supposed to be the Princess Diana type. And it was a little distasteful at first, but it was kooky. I liked it. And then I watched Sunset Beach for a minute. Got into Young and the Restless again, and got into General Hospital for a while. So, okay, this has something. Hold on. This has something to do with Trudy and soap operas. Okay, thank you. Whew. I'm glad I can help myself. So I'm reading it, and when I heard those words in my head, now get this, it all became clear to me. These, the soap operas, while I will, read what I wrote so that you get the story, actual story, I'm going to read it as if I'm calling Trudy or the soap opera friend who got me into General Hospital and back into Young and the Restless and then into Bold and the Beautiful for a minute, Jeff in Knoxville, as if I'm calling them at the end of the week and recapping the soap opera for him. Now get this. Now here's what she did next, and this is what happened, and then you won't believe what came next, or you won't believe who it was. Things like that. I'll just slip those into it and read it in a normal telling tone. So that's my idea, and I really hope it sticks because I think that it's perfect for those type of stories. Now, let me move on real quick to a bit of Shush. What am I doing standing in front of Walgreens? I don't have to go to Walgreens today. Okay. Bit of Shush. I'll make this quick since the rest of it was. I'm going to do a segment. Yeah, I know. I love to dissect and whatever, but pieces and layers. But for a bit of Shush, please, occasionally, if I don't have something to do with whatever is going on the other podcast or anything like that, I'm not in the mind of tackling politics, religion, big topics, because I don't want it to get very either divisive or become kind of a downer. So. Let's see. God damn it. It's like I'm on the phone. I always forget things when I'm on the phone. So the segment is going to be called Shit I Already Hate. It's not, nothing new has popped up. It's just something that I already hate and I'm either reminded of or it just needles me so much that I'm going to throw it out there. And a couple of the things that have come to mind already are people who don't know enough words to express what they mean. So they end up saying something that means nothing. Such as, it is what it is. Okay, that's tautology. It's like saying I'll be there when I get there. It doesn't tell you anything because they don't know how to tell you how they feel. They don't have the word capacity. So it just drives me crazy because it's just blown up. Everybody's latched onto it. And maybe they do know the words. I'm not saying all of them, but maybe they do have a better vocabulary than that and could express themselves. But they're lazy. Yeah. So they'd rather just say that or they're not going to lie, or they don't know what to say, and they don't want to say what they really think. So there's that, there is that one. Oops. Oh, here we go. Oh, crap. Let's see, what else did I have? Okay. Oh, I'll do this one. This one's quick. I got a jury summons for Saturday. And I don't know, I'll have to call Friday to see if I have to go, but also got a psychiatrist one Monday. I've got them at the ready, though. We've got another appointment made just in case, but I'm hoping I don't have to go to jury duty again. Only ones that got dismissed because of the I don't know, full or whatever. Already, I had to go there and sit. But I did discover that you're allowed to take your iPads and stuff. So I don't know. I figured I had no idea. I'd never been to jury duty before, and it was like in 2007-ish when I was back in Atlanta for a bit, and I was up in the country, and I got my first cell phone, and then when I was down here in Atlanta, I was out and about doing some walking around, and kind of going places, but checking sites that I hadn't seen in so long after having been gone. Excuse me. And I was on the phone. It was my friend Nan, Brina's friend Nan, who became my friend after we were all roommates, and we met through a guy whose boyfriend he was breaking up with, I was working with, and boy, is there a story there. Okay, anyway. Here it is, parakeet food. Oh yeah, and the bus came, and I went to step on the bus, and I actually paused. I was like, "Am I allowed to talk on the phone on the bus?" I had no idea. So anyway, that's funny. Thinking about the way technology goes, and especially if you're around part of it and then not around the rest of it, which is older technology, and then you combine the both, and you're like, "Ooh, do these two mix?" And also, of course, everybody's on phones and shit on the buses. So the jury duty thing, and I'm going to end it there because that's enough, I believe, for a bit of shush, please. I am going to head home and hopefully get those to the trailer and the pilot episodes of Days of General Restlessness under Clumsy Hippo's morning cereal, so stay tuned. There is some good shit coming. That is a sentence.